Hey guys, how's it going? This is Autobot JCB here coming to you with a brand new How to Transform video. In today's video, we're going to be continuing on with Transformers Revenge of the Fallen because today I'm going to be showing you how to transform the 2009 Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Soundwave and Deluxe Class Ravage. Now, for those of you guys who have seen the movie, you guys will know that Ravage made his debut in the movie after Soundwave launched him in from orbit when they were on the mission to retrieve the Allspark shard from the military black site in order to resurrect Megatron. Now, one thing I like about this is, in addition to Ravage having his own quote-unquote projectile mode, whatever you want to call it, if you actually look on Soundwave, you will see that he actually has a mini Ravage mounted into a launcher. And this will actually fire, which I really think is cool because that just shows the amount of detail that they put into these figures. That we actually have the quote-unquote mini Ravage that Soundwave can actually fire or can actually launch into the Earth's atmosphere in order to get the Allspark shard. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go over a couple of details that these guys have while they're in their Cybertronian vehicle modes, I guess, and then we'll get on to transformation. So for right now, we're going to move Ravage off to the side, and we're going to bring Soundwave in for a close-up. Now, for Soundwave, most of you guys have seen the second and the third movie. This is actually the version of Soundwave we saw orbiting Earth in the second movie, where all he really did was just kind of run orbiting, I'm going to try and word this the best I can, suborbital reconnaissance for the Decepticons. You guys will remember that Wheelie actually was reporting to Soundwave when Soundwave ordered him to retrieve the Allspark shard. Now, I don't know if the original plan was to steal both shards of the Allspark to do whatever, but we ultimately know that the Autobots ended up with one shard, and not the Autobots. We know that Sam and Michaela ended up with one shard, and that the Decepticons ended up with the other shard, which were then used to revive both Jetfire and Megatron himself. And then, like I was saying, with the Cybertronian satellite mode, personally, I think the amount of detail they put on Soundwave is actually pretty cool. I love that they've even got these like solar panels built onto him. I love how if you turn around, he's got like these jet thrusters. And then, of course, he's got his launchable Ravage figure right here. But here's what I also like, is that in addition to one face right here, if you actually flip him over, he actually has the more traditional Soundwave face behind a visor, even though we never actually saw him transform in the movie. I'll be showing you guys that as we progress through this video. But anyway, I have to admit, I just love this design. They did a really good job. And ultimately, we did see the ultimate fate of Soundwave in Transformers Dark of the Moon. But by then, he had assumed his Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG form, which then he picked to fight with the wrong Autobot and lost. All right, so anyway, there's Soundwave. And then, of course, so now we'll bring in Ravage. Now, like I said, Ravage is, this mode right here is actually his, I don't really know, his reconnaissance mode, his projectile mode, whatever you want to call it. But this is what the instructions showed that he transforms into, which I would assume, and I don't like to assume, this is kind of what he looked like when Soundwave launched him into Earth's orbit, when he sent him down to the military base to steal the Allspark with that other Decepticon. I cannot think of what the flatter Decepticon thing's name was, where Ravage spit all the marbles out into the ventilation duct. If anybody knows what that thing was actually called, I would appreciate it, because honestly, I don't know. But ultimately, anyway, so getting back to Ravage, you'll see that he has the Decepticon symbol right there on his hips. He has these really neat little solar panels that are built onto him, similar to what Soundwave has. And you'll see that he's got that one menacing purple eye staring at you. Yeah, nightmare fuel right there. And then he does also even have his tail, and he's got this really neat blade on the end of it. And And then, of course, he's got these two cannons right here, but I've never really been sure whether or not these could be like flipped around and used as like thrusters or whatever, or if they're just supposed to sit like that, because we do know that in the movie, he used these to fire back at the military when they were trying to stop him and that other little Decepticon from getting away with the Allspark shard. But anyway, so there's Ravage. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and transform Soundwave, and I'll go over some details with him, and then we'll get on to Ravage. So once again, we're going to move him off to the side, and we're going to bring Soundwave back in. Now, just like what I was showing you, with Soundwave, he does actually have the launchable projectile. You'll see that he has the little switch right there below his face. And, oh, never mind, it's right there. Okay. And there's Mini Ravage ready to go. You'll see that he's got a little bit of detail, but not really enough to tell what it's supposed to be. But we do know from the movie that it's Ravage. So we'll just set that off to the side. All right, so what I'm going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get on the transformation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to just bring these down just a little bit. And we're going to flip out these spikes right here. We're actually going to flip them over first. We're going to flip these spikes out. You guys will notice that this will ultimately become Soundwave's chest, because we're going to go by this head right here. What we're going to do is we're going to grab right here, and we're going to pull these apart and pull these out. And as we do, we're going to bring his hips around to the front and then bring his legs straight, just like that. He's got a little bit of a ball joint right there on the hip right there. Yeah, I said right there a lot. I'm sorry. Anyway, so there's the ball joint right there. And we'll bring this down and then bring it forward and then bring it the rest of the way straight, just like this, because there are Soundwave's legs. And then what we'll do is we'll flip up his toes and flip down his heel, just like that. Flip up his toes and flip out his heel, just like that. And there we go. We already have his legs ready to go. So we'll go ahead and next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring these solar panels down just like this. Now, these are actually on little hinges right here. They have little hinges right here. If it helps, bring them back. And then they also rotate on a little ball joint right here. And then there's a little swivel right here, so you can move them in almost any direction, which is great. We'll go ahead and bring these down behind him because we want them out of our way. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to come right here and we're going to flip this out. We're going to flip it out straight and bring the spike down as we do, because that is going to form Soundwave's arm. So we'll flip this out, flip the spike down, flip this out straight on that double hinge right there, and that will become his arm. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come right here, and we're going to grab these and pull these down until they click down alongside his chest, just like that, because there are Soundwave's shoulders. And then he does have a little bit of articulation. He's got a little bit of some elbow articulation. He does have a little bit of a swivel on his arm. He does have a little bit of a shoulder joint, so you can put him in a pose if you want, like have him crossing his chest, his arm in front of his chest and bowing to Megatron, whatever. But anyway, so to get back on topic, or back on track, what we're going to do next is we're going to come right here. We're going to bring these up back out of the way, because we're going to take this solar panel and bring it up into his back just like this, and then bring these up just like this. Now these are a little tricky, so if it helps, do this. Bring this arm piece up right here, and then bring that down just like that. So that way the solar panels are sitting on his back like armor plating. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll come around to the front, and now mine is a little older and he's got some loose joints, so he's not really easy to stand up anymore. See if I can get him to behave. There we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this little kind of rock back and forth on a pack right here. We're going to bring this back, and then we're going to tilt his chest back just a little bit, just like that. And then we're going to flip down that visor just like that, and that will reveal Soundwave's head. Personally, I really wish we could have gotten to see this version of Soundwave in the movie. I know all we really got was his satellite mode, but this transformation would have been cool to see, because I think this is actually supposed to be Soundwave's proto form. that he would have if he was on Cybertron. But ultimately, there's Soundwave in all of his glory. And the head sculpt, I really think they did a great job. I just wish, like I said, I really wish we could have gotten to see him transform into this in the movie and like joined in with the during the Egypt battle. But ultimately, we did not. And then, of course, we all know what happened in Dark of the Moon when he took on Bumblebee. Oh, there we go. Get his chest a little bit better. There we go. There we go. There's more more of Soundwave's chest right there. I apologize, guys. He is not, like I said, this guy is actually really old. I actually got this back in 2009 when it came out. So this is one of the oldest ones I have. But anyway, so there we have Soundwave. All right. So now we're going to move him off to the side and we're going to bring Ravage in. Now, like I said, Ravage is the personal minion of Soundwave. And then you guys remember in the movie when they went to retrieve Megatron's body, Ravage's chest opened up and Scalpel popped out. I don't know if Scalpel is also a minion of Soundwave, but for now, I'm saying he's a minion of Ravage. All right, so for Ravage, he's actually pretty easy to do. What we're going to do first is we're going to start by flipping him over. And there's actually a connector pin right here and a connector pin right here. You'll see that silver right there, that one already kind of popped out. What we're going to do is we're going to disconnect those from what will become Ravage's hips. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take his tail. We're going to bring it out completely straight and then bring out his, we're going to basically taking everything out from underneath Ravage in order to turn him into Super Cat. I don't know. Anyway, so there we have that taken care of. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring the guns up on the hips just like this. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to give his legs a turn, and where this kind of arm is right here, it will actually snap up into place, and that will become Ravage's hip. And I'm trying not to hit Soundwave with his tail. So, all right, there we go. All right, so the next thing, so we've got the hip. We brought the hip up and snapped it into place right there. He does have a little bit of a knee joint, an ankle joint, and his feet and his toes will actually flip around to become that claw that he has. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and come over here. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to bring the hip up, click it into place, bring down the actual hip. He's got his knee joint, his ankle joint, and his toes, just like that. And then we'll go ahead and bring the guns back and just set them on top of Ravage's hips, just like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come right here. And I forgot to do that. I forgot to do this when I first started. But when you first start, fold these solar panels in because we won't need these and they'll just get in the way. And then what we'll do is we're going to take this whole chest piece right here. And we're going to bring it in and line it up in there just like that. Bring the other one in, line it up in there just like that. Now, sometimes, as you guys can see here, the solar panel got hung up. It does that, but all you got to do is just give it a little bit of love, and it'll slip right into where it needs to go. And there we have Ravage's chest fully formed and ready to go. Get his legs ready because we want to stand him up. Now with his tail, it actually has a little bit of a joint here. It's got the joint on his coming off of his back right there. And then, of course, it has a little bit of a swivel with it right here. And then this spike right here will actually fold in and become the grabber claw thing that we never saw him use. All right. So we got that done. And okay, there we go. All right. So now what we'll do is we're going to come right here and we're going to pull these claws off of his face because these grooves right here actually kind of sit onto these pieces on his face right here. We'll pull those apart, we'll bring these down, turn them, and we'll open up his claws to create his front toes, just like this. And there we go. We'll come down here, bring his shoulder down, turn it, and bring out his toes. And then what I like about this is that he actually has a switch right here. And when you push it, his mouth opens up. He's got kind of this chomping motion type of deal. I don't know what they were going for with that, but it's an interesting thing. But anyway, so there we have Ravage. And personally, I would not want to be on the wrong end of this guy. But I think we all know what happened when he also picked a fight with Bumblebee. I just realized that Bumblebee took out Soundwave, Laserbeak, and Ravage with very little effort. Anyway, so there we have Ravage transformed and ready to go. And he's actually a pretty sizable figure if he can, like, compared to my hand, he's actually pretty sizable. Here's a size comparison to him with Soundwave. Now, I know that there are a couple of smaller versions. I had a Legends version of Ravage that I like to keep around, but I don't know what happened to it. That's more like size accurate to Megatron and Soundwave. But anyway, guys, so there we go. We have the 2009 Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Soundwave and Ravage. If you guys have any other ideas for other Transformers you'd like me to try and do, feel free to comment below. Even hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and I will do what I can to help you out as we go. And until then, bye.